semi-axle eyesight is there the high drive, deep center, go, 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 we're out of here, we're out of here, say ya playa.
Just like they drew it up in Hollywood, Caladros, the 3-2, swing and a miss, and the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons, and this is it for good. The Audubon Green Wave are back in the Final Four. A gold pile on their side.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DW Broadcasting's coverage of men's varsity
From our
soccer.
entire crew, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, folks.
The nighttime is the right time for the Gladiators of Score to take on NASCAR's perennial home track. Hello and welcome to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting's presentation of Score Season 8 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. My name's Alex Mullen, once again calling the shots for you folks at home tonight, and alongside me, for the first time as color commentator, is Dakota Brothers. How you doing tonight, Dakota?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. I'm really happy to be out here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's a beautiful facility, beautiful night for these drivers to go out and race for a pretty good race, second race of our season. We got qualifying wrapping up here. Qualifying is just finished up. We will get to that order in just a little bit. You have any previous experience racing at this track, going to this track, anything like that?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I got a copy. I have some basic experience with this track. My experience with this track is all you gotta do is just lift a little bit. You'll carry a lot of speed through the corners, a lot of speed down the straights.
Absolutely. I took out our certified score testing car out for a couple laps during practice to see how it handled in traffic along the track. It's doing all right. Definitely has a lot of grip going into the corners. These guys just have to be mindful, especially on the long run. Those tires are squealing going through the turns, so just got to be mindful of your tire wear throughout this race. We have a couple people making their first start tonight. We have on pole after the qualifying session is Zach Armstrong in the 87. We also have the number 15, Daniel Rivera, making their first start tonight. We also have making their first ever score start is Violet Myers in the number 11 Toyota. Final car making their first start this season is that 88 of Carl Childress. This is Score's third race at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We've run in both Season 4 and Season 6. We've never run in consecutive seasons, but maybe that'll change in the future. We got a lot of schedule variety, so logistics always got to be worked out. This is the latest it's ever been on the calendar in history here. We've had it held in March of 2023 as well as earlier this year in January on New Year's Day. So latest that's been on the calendar year here in early October. But Season 6 having been as late as it was compared to this and Season 4 being both the second race of the season, Season 6 meant a lot more in points. So these guys are definitely going to drive differently tonight compared to if they were in that championship hopeful position going into that. We've had a couple very good finishes in just two races here so far. We've had Phil Parker coming to the checkered flag off turn 4, got himself wrecked in the wall, but managed to come across the line ahead of Cameron Jamison, got himself a win, the two-time champ. As well as Jonathan Salos picking up his 5th win of Season 6, which gave him the record for most wins in a single season here in Score. Ethan Nichols won our inaugural pole at this racetrack in Season 4. And Phil Parker, who won the race in Season 4, followed it up with a pole in Season 6. So Parker's got a lot of speed in that number 9 machine. Season 4 event had 30 entries. We haven't quite met that mark tonight, roughly around like 20 or so entries tonight. But they had just about half of that in Season 6. So really good to see a lot of competitors come here to Charlotte. It's a bit of an easy trip for some of these teams to get here. Well, with that, we will come back with our starting lineup right after this break.
And this is going to bring up Andrew Petrick, who has a single in this game. And here's a fly ball popped up right field side. And it's fair. It's fair. They're going to throw to second for try to get this play. The force out. They got him, but the game is tied. How about it for Woodstown? They complete the comeback to make it 8-8. So now there is one out after Kubat let it fall in right, and because the bases were loaded, you know what? That's a very smart play.
Welcome back here to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, getting ready to take the green flag. Let's run you through your starting lineup. On pole, his second career pole here in score, it is the 87 of Zach Armstrong, and to his outside is the 29 Kirsten Bell with an oh-so impressive performance last week at Talladega.
Oh, sorry. Jonathan, in third place, Jonathan Salos is starting. Jeez, I'm messing up. Sorry, guys.
It's all right.
Yeah, first time.
We got Salos in third, Tristan Grace fourth. We got Ian Griffith starting in fifth, winner last week at Talladega in that beautiful Valvoline Toyota. Alongside, we got the 84 Crystal Bennett. We got Mark Prince in that 36, still waiting for him to load onto the racetrack. He's starting in the 7th position. Worked really well with that 34. We're starting right behind him tonight. To the outside, another first-time starter, as we mentioned in the pre-race, the 15 Daniel Rivera. Row number 5, we found the 99 Flandre Wilson, last week's pole sitter, and the 11 of Violet Myers making their score debut. 11th, we have Kez Hiller. 12th, Chase Sievers. 13th, Dakota Vega. 14th, Jelani Howe. 15th, Cameron Jameson. Rounding out our top 15, we have Alex Pollock in 16th, Christian Vargas 17th, Carl Childress 18th, Phil Parker 19th, and Thomas Johnson rounding out our 20-car field. I'm really excited. I got the jitters even up here from the booth. It feels really nice to be in Charlotte tonight. It's a beautiful, beautiful night. What about you, Dakota?
Yeah, Charlotte's a real nice, fast track. We should see a lot of action-packed racing. Maybe they'll split it 2 wide, maybe 3 wide here. My experience here, right up at the wall, isn't really nice. But I'll give it back to you, Alex.
Coming to the green, 84 laps up here for tonight's race. And we are green flag racing for the second race of the season here at school. Oh, and we have a wreck down the back straightaway. That's the 11 and 45 into it down the backstretch. They're going to slide down the apron.
Oh, 72 around turn 3.
And that is going to be a restart on the race, a massive incident. Oh, and the 11 rams right into the 45 there at the end. A massive crash involving cars in the mid-pack and the rear of the field. That's going to be a restart.
No,
very unfortunate to see these guys get into an incident so early. At least they'll get a second try of sorts.
No, 72 looked like...
Do have a rule for forgiven restarts. We'll be able to restart on the first lap when there is multi-car incidents.
No, that 72 car out the back looked like he was going to make it through, but then he slammed into the back of another car. Oh, that was crazy in the turn 3. Huge pileup.
Very crazy indeed. Guys getting resituated and refocused with how crazy it is down in turn 1 going side by side with especially how much those tires are going to wear, especially early in the run trying to push it. So these guys got to manage the tires really well as just not getting in the wall as we saw that 84 dude. That 84 hitting the wall kind of checked up the field behind it, caused that massive incident. Unfortunate way to start the night, but that is what happens.
Yeah, and like you were saying, just to stack up on the wall, they're also taking it 4 wide down the backstretch lap 1. So
Pace car rolling once more as brings the head of the field down through turn 3 and 4. Seen Zach Armstrong in a handful of leagues as well as Kirsten Bell re-emerging onto the scene. Finished 3rd place last weekend at Talladega. Have past winners in the field. Our winner last week, Ian Griffith, starting in the 5th position, as mentioned before. So come down for the do-over, the restart. Once again, 84 laps for this very enthusiastic and a little bit chaotic field. As we are back under green again here, and we have another wreck in the back, right at the start-finish line. Chase Severs around again. The 11 of Violet Myers goes around. Phil Parker in the grass. Jelani Howell. Caution is out there, racing back to the start-finish line. We race back in this series.
That looked like Nashville.
Number of these guys get it going in the back. Meanwhile, at the head of the pack, Zach Armstrong still leads over Jonathan Salas, heading back through turns 3 and 4 for the first time at full speed. Got another car on the wall back there. Looks like it's the 84 Crystal Bennett to the line. To complete lap number 1, it is going to be your pole sitter, Zach Armstrong, taking that caution flag. Salos 2nd, Ian Griffith going to be 3rd. Pace car lights are on, exiting pit road onto the racetrack down the back straightaway here. These guys got to check up for the pace car. Make sure to not wreck under caution. That's the last thing we want from these guys. With what we've seen so far, that's the last thing we want for any of them, to tear up their equipment as much as they have. Or any more than they have, rather. Everyone getting situated back in line. A little bit of bumpers under caution. I mean, we did wreck on lap 1. For racing at Talladega last week, I would have thought that we'd have more a probability of a first lap crash there rather than an incident here. So I'm quite surprised. Are you surprised about that at all, Dakota?
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't really see people get piled up like that on the restart. The only time you really see that in the, like, actual NASCAR Cup Series was definitely, like, Nashville, just last July. That's what that reminded me of.
Couple cars heading down the pit lane here. We got the 84 Crystal Bennett who tapped the wall there on the first lap. As well as the 13 Cameron Jameson. The 11 Violet Myers, 72 Thomas Johnson. The 19 Jelani Howell, 20 Dakota Vega, and the 9 of Phil Parker are all going to come down and take their first pit stop of the evening.
I must say, I do like that 11's paint scheme with what they did with the FedEx office there.
Oh yeah, it's a very nice. It's that beautiful March of Dimes, number 11 Toyota for Violet Myers. It's like Cameron Jameson's going to be the first car off the pit lane, followed by that 11 of Myers. Then Dakota Vega, Jelani Howell, Phil Parker, the 84 Crystal Bennett, and the 72. Have a car lagging up on the top. That was the 34. He seems to be stabilizing just a little bit. Luckily, we are under caution, so it's not going to cause too much of an issue for the field. He's just got to keep pacing in line.
I think I can hear the broadcast come through your mic, Alex.
If we could hear our own broadcast, that'd be fantastic. We could hear ourselves back in real time and do like a rewind of sorts, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe I'd go back and fix some of the mistakes. But right now, I think these guys on track need to stop making the mistakes. We need to stop wrecking.
Yeah, I want to see some good hard racing.
I know.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
A lot of the guys up at the front have shown a lot of potential, especially last week. And through the overall history of SCORE, they do pretty good. It's just a couple guys running for their first race here. We will be having a single file restart coming back to complete lap number 4. See, pace car lights are off.
You know,
Zach
you think
Armstrong
we'll ever...
is still tailing that Dodge Charger pace car.
Now, you think we'll ever run the Roval here?
I wouldn't bet against it, but I certainly think at this point in time we don't have any plans to do that. But that is ultimately up to league officials. As broadcasters, we don't necessarily have a say on what the schedule is like. We just like to bring you the most exciting action at any track we go to here in the SCORE League. Looks like Cameron Jamison may have come back to pit road, topped off on gas and tires, making sure everything is fit to go on that 13 Ford Mustang. A little bit frisky at the back, but up at the front, they were very good job getting ready for this green flag. Coming to complete lap 4 this time, it's Zach Armstrong, the pole sitter, followed by Salos Griffith, Kirsten Bell, and Mark Prince. Coming back to the start-finish line.
Alex, for reference, please try to have a little...
Here we go. Green flag is back in the air. Another horrible restart for a couple of those cars in the back, but they managed to keep it straight. Here comes Salos peeking to the outside. Armstrong going to have that run down through turn 1 and 2. Oh, Griffith in the wall behind. Flandre Wilson going to save it back there off the wall. Looks like Rivera may have almost hit that inside wall. Going to come back up and save it, that 15. Very nice shot. Oh, Mark Prince sliding up in front of Griffith. They're going to have a huge track down in turn 3 and 4. Yellow flag is out. Kez Hiller involved. Oh, piling in up and over goes the 34, Ian Griffith. Dakota Vega just plowed in, and the 72 hits that 6 car late. Oh my goodness gracious, I have no idea what these guys are doing. It's absolutely unbelievable.
That was a depressing amount of plows.
That will institute our caution cooldown procedure. It was once again Zach Armstrong leading us back to the caution flag. That 87 still up front, followed by the 70 and 29.
You know what, Cam, I actually appreciate that because that indirectly saved me from
absolute
that wreck.
Insanity here at Charlotte. We saw that 34 get upside down. Thought we would have once again imagined that happening sometime last week with all the moves that were being made, but unfortunately that 34's got a decent amount of damage to it. 36 also has some rear end damage being involved. Kez Hiller involved now in wrecks 2 weeks in a row. Dakota Vega as well. The 72's luck goes from bad to worse, as a lot of them come down the pit lane here, led by Phil Parker in the 9. Everyone heading to their pit stalls to try and get some of that damage repaired. You know, last week's winner, I think, got the most damage out of that, being the 34 Ian Griffith. Oh, body getting into their pit boxes. Tristan Grace in the 15 of Rivera. There goes Grace. Looks like he missed his box, and he's further up the road. He missed his pit box in the first instance. It's a shame for that 6 car. It's a beautiful Wrangler machine, same as last week. Carl Chodris got off pit road first. It might have just been a little stop and go for him, but then it's going to be the 11 of Myers, followed by Parker. Then the 72, and then everybody else on pit road getting some damage repaired. Kez Hiller's the first to roll, followed by Prince. Oh, going to get into the door of the 86, and they're hooking each other almost under caution. Ay. Even Calamity on pit road, these guys cannot settle down. They have adrenaline coursing through their veins. Absolutely nuts here early going. We're only coming to complete lap 7. We have not even gotten 10 laps through this event. And we have already had 2 cautions, multi-car incidents, where we had a couple incidents last week that didn't require any cautions. Unfortunately, this week has not quite been the same. Field once again gets single file heading down through the exit of the tri-oval.
Yeah, as Daniel Rivera has stated, please use caution on the starts, otherwise we're going to have another wreck, because inevitably more people are going to plow into said wreck.
Hearing from the officiating tower is a lot of hubbub about people on restarts and making sure we don't have more wrecks. I'd like to see some of that, call some green flag action. We do have the 1 to green got at that last time by. We are going to be going green this time by. 87 still on the point. Salos, who had a great run early last week and had it all fall apart. He barrel rolled last week. Now we see the 34. Guys who were winning often in this series, or even in their first start, continue to just find bad luck. snatching it from the jaws of victory. Looks like the 46 got a little loose in the back, as well as the 86, but they're still all in line. Everybody's going to be good coming up for the restart. Once again, Zach Armstrong on the point. That 70 Dodge of Jonathan Salos in second, followed by Kirsten Bell, Flandre Wilson, and the Wrangler throwback of Jelani Howe. Out of turn number 4, coming back for our third restart of the night, and the green is out once again. 99 immediately going to jump to that outside of the 29, going to make that move for third, going to clear down into turn number 1 just barely. Now the 29 gets back to the inside as the 99 shoots up just a little bit. 70 all over the rear bumper, looking to the inside of the 87 for the top spot. Going to tuck back in line down into turn number 3. We have a wreck in the back. 72 went around as well as the 34. No caution as we still are on the caution cooldown procedure. 87 going to lead under green this time by. Still riding that back bumper on the backstretch. Mark Prince is stopped down the back straightaway. Looks like he's going to tow back to the pits. Looks like he is done for the night, as well as that 72 Thomas Johnson. Very much a shame, as both of them made it very far into our race last week. Jonathan Salos does almost clear off turn 4. Going to let that 87 get back up high, but he will lead his first lap of the night. Your season 6 winner here at Charlotte, Jonathan Salos to the lead. Here comes the 29 looking down to the inside for second place. Beautiful IKEA Toyota side by side with Armstrong down the back straightaway. Here comes Flandre Wilson trying to get that draft out the back of the 87 as they head down the back towards turn number 3.
You know, Alex, let's talk about Kirsten Bell for a second, running third here. I've ran a few leagues with Kirsten, probably about 4 or 5. She is a very, very good driver. You know, we were running Coda in this one league, and she was just setting laps or 10 seconds faster than the rest of us. I think she's on this mouse and keyboard too. It's really
impressive runs. The 29 has made certainly an impact, even thus far this season. Third place Talladega after flipping, came back and ran really well. I have personally not run very much with that 29, but she looks very fast here early in the going. We do have a lap car ahead of these leaders, that's the 34, but thus far they don't have to worry about it. He's still far enough ahead. A couple cars tapping the wall back and forth in 5th. That's Wilson and Howe. '29 going to be all over the back bumper. Chase Seaver's going to tap the wall coming out of turn 4. He's getting swallowed up by the cars behind. Here comes that 11. The caution cooldown period is over now. If we have a wreck, that will cause a caution. But right now, it's smooth sailing for that 70 Autodesk Dodge of Jonathan Salos. The 29 does clear for second, and now Kirsten Bell going on the charge to catch Jonathan Salos for the lead. Top 5 have gapped themselves pretty comfortably. The 11 got by for 6th. That is Myers. Battle for 7th back here between the 15 of Daniel Rivera and Chase Severs, who was blocking for his life, was involved in that first lap incident. Still seems to be running pretty well even after sustaining minor damage. Right on the fringes of the top 10, we also see Phil Parker and Christian Vargas, but back up at the front. Still see Salos leading with the 29 right on the rear bumper. Getting almost to the back bumper of that 34.
Let's talk about the back bumper of that 34. Look at all that damage that was sustained in that
A lot of damage, but he's going to move out of the way. He puts himself in the wall to get out of the way. It's very good that he got out of the way, but he lost a ton of speed doing that. So these guys got to be careful when he comes off the corner. They all missed him. Ian Griffith gets through the faster cars with no problem. He walled himself, but none of the other cars ran into him. He will be our first car 1 lap down on the track.
Number 45 was just in the wall right there in the turn 1.
Yeah, Salos has, not Salos, Chase Severs has lost even more ground in that 45. He has severe damage to the right side of that 45 Dodge. He has dropped all the way, as timing and scoring goes by, he goes all the way back to the 10th position. Absolute disaster since the restart for that 45. I think he stayed out on old tires when that second caution came out. Now, granted, he does have more damage than when he started on the restart, but certainly not helping the performance on that 45. Meanwhile, back up at the front, the 29 is all over the back bumper of that 70. Salo's going to take this lap, but the 29 has a huge run. Peaks high for a moment, almost going to peak down low. '99 did get turned by the 19 in the back, but there is no caution for that. Another tough break for Flandre Wilson, who struggled after getting turned a couple of times in flat tires at Talladega, and certainly this isn't going to help any of that. Salo's still maintaining that gap. The top three have pulled away from the rest of the field. Meanwhile, battle for fourth. Here comes that 11, Violet Myers, trying to peek down to the inside, Jelani Howe. Down the back straightaway, all over the bumper. Not quite going to have to move down into turn number 3. Still riding right with that 19. Another beautiful Wrangler throwback that also ran last week. Almost got the win. Jelani Howe very good on super speedways. Came up just short to that 34, but didn't have to worry about the 34 now as he's a lap down. Here comes that 11 riding all over the back bumper of that 19. Oh, he washed up just a little bit, tapped the wall on the exit of turn number 2. March of Dimes Camry is all over the place right now. He's still managing enough speed to keep track of that 19. As the top 3 continue to pull away. The 29 has not let that 70 get out of her sight at all. Has not been able to get close enough to make a pass yet. Just going to have to rely on the long run and the conservation of tires. Myers gets by Howe for the 4th position. Now she's going to try and track down the top 3 with enough speed in that 11 car. My apologies for stuttering there. I don't want the audience to think that I got that wrong. My apologies. Still a really steady battle going down through 3 and 4. Even though the 11 got by the 19 is not letting the 11 get out of his sight. All his battling has allowed the cars behind to keep a steady gap, particularly that 15 of Rivera, who was just before battling with the 45. Seemed like that 45 was very much of a roadblock before. Now that 15 has gotten around the 45, he's been able to carry a lot of speed right up on the fringe of the top 5. Daniel Rivera making a hard charge through the field.
It's like coming into 1.
Alex Pollock. Yep, Alex Pollock, that 46 RC Cola Dodge. Slides up the track, gets into the wall, very similar to Griffith, but is going to let those leaders by. He is very slow up on the top line. Armstrong going to get low to avoid. Meanwhile, 4th, 5th, and 6th, you can just throw a blanket right over him right now. Rivera continues to close. That 19 is not letting Myers get away. They're coming up on this lap car, the 46. They're going to have to peak it real low as he's pinching them down almost. Oh, he walls himself. Gets even more damage on the right side of that 46, but is going to let the lead lap cars by. There's more lap traffic ahead, but still yet not a factor for these guys. That's going to hurt the 34. No longer the first car 1 lap down is Ian Griffith. So another break, another hard break for that 34 team. Oh, the 20 car Dakota Vega has blown up. He gets down to the apron. Tough break for that 20 of Dakota
Mind
Vega.
the 20. 20 has blown an engine.
It's like no caution.
No caution. He gets down to the apron. Nobody's run into him either. All that oil is staying down off the racing surface. So thus far, the score official is going to keep it green Love to see it after all those cautions early.
I mean,
The top two have pulled even further away from the 87. Sorry about that, Dakota.
Oh no, you're good. Anyway, makes you think during pit cycles here, like all that oil on the track, like will that affect the pit cycles?
Potentially, I think it's just going to be a matter of these guys getting it woed up, especially with the tires that they're on. Can these tires be gripped up enough to make a good pit stop and not have any incidents getting into the pit lane? The 87 has fallen back even further from the top two. Last time by was just about under 3 seconds away from the leader of Solos. These top two were just in an entirely different zip code right now. Still yet that 70 with a bad fast Dodge pulling the Toyota at this moment. Meanwhile, in front of these two, we have a battle for the last car on the lead lap. Carl Childress gets by the 86 Kez Hiller. They're coming up on both those two pretty quickly. 6 car coming to the pit lane. Tristan Grace looks like he has some damage on the right side door. No, it appears as though he may have hit the wall previously, and he is slow in the tri-oval.
Ooh.
Like he hit it pretty good. He has a lot of right side damage. He's going to hold the bottom lane as the leaders come around to lap. He's going to hold that low line, forcing Solos up high, but Kez Hiller gets into the wall. Going to be a tight squeeze around for the 70, but is going to have the nose ahead and clears down into turn 3. Here comes Bell bombing it in to get past that 6. Now going to just have to worry about the other cars. Pollock, the 46, on the pit lane. Here comes that 6 to the pit lane. It appears as though he may have been trying to back it down the prior lap to get to pit road, but missed it. This is in Darlington, but pit road is still very tough to get onto. Griffith now, another lap car in the way. Looks like he might go 2 laps down in a handful of laps here. Continuing to get even worse for that 34 team. Now here comes the 29, looking to the inside of the 88, trying to get by another lap car. Going to send it off into turn number 1, going to clear with ease. The IKEA Toyota is way faster than that 88 Modern Warfare Impala right now.
Like 46 Alex Pollock coming off pit road.
Here comes the 45 Chase Sabers down pit road. Griffith was also on the apron letting the leaders by. He is also coming to pit road to service his Toyota. Here comes Christian Vargas down the pit lane. Oh, he missed the pit lane trying to slow down. He didn't slow down quick enough. He's going to have to get that 00 Dodge back up to speed. You got to be really careful coming down to this pit lane. If you're carrying too much speed, you're not even going to have a chance to get down to the pits.
Number 6, Tristan Grace off the pit road. Looks
46
like 46
on the apron again. Looks like he might be coming back to the pits this time. Indeed he will. And it appears as though we have met the end of our fuel window or tire window, depending on which one is wearing faster. A lot of cars announcing their pits. The 46 is already in. 00 makes it to the pits this time. Cameron Jamison follows suit in that 13. Here comes the 70, both leaders pitting. Followed by the 86 Kez Hiller. To the lead is going to be Violet Myers on this pit cycle right now. Violet Myers is going to lead her first lap here in score competition. Everybody here making their pit stops. Oh, Jelani Howell has to stop for Cameron Jamison coming out of his box. Everybody coming down the pitch. Chase Severs back down the pit lane. Looks like that's going to be a really slow stop for that 19. Here goes Solos rolling around the 29. 29's having a pretty slow pit stop. Barely going to get around that 87. Going to clear that 86 off the pit lane as well. So first off the pit lane, still Solos with an even larger lead than before. Followed by that 29, the lapped 86 car. Here comes the 46 at full song coming around. The 87 as well. 15 off pit road as well. Oh, Kez Hiller goes around
Watch
off the
the
pit lane,
86
slides
is
down
around
to
on
the
the
inside
apron.
wall. No caution, gonna get it turned around, rear ends it in the wall again. Here comes 2 cars merging off the pit lane, gonna miss. Chase Severs and Jelani Howe, the 86 gets it righted. Kez Hiller with still no luck. That 11 still yet to pit, as well as the 9 of Phil Parker.
Jonathan Solo's back down pit road. Must have some damage or something there.
Salos, who's dominated a lot of this day, is in a tie for most wins in score with the one Jerry Cook, Phil Parker also in this race, and Thomas Troxel. But as you said, here's as though we had some problems, had to come back down the pit lane. Devastating break for that 70.
11 down pit road.
Here comes the 11 down the pit lane, followed by the 9. Last 2 cars needing to pit on this cycle. It's going to hand the lead, according to timing and scoring, that should hand the lead to Carl Childress in the 88. It looks like he may have either short pitted or has not made his pit stop yet. Seems like a lot of the guys behind him are a bit faster, so depending on how everything cycles out under this run, Carl Childress could be your new leader. Still yet to make pit stop. Here comes the 84 also coming off the pit lane with that 11. The 9 still going to be the 11. Violet Myers leading Phil Parker off the pit lane. They are going to be absolutely gapped by the 29 of Kirsten Bell. Still in an entirely different zip code as that 29.
Here comes the 88 down pit road for his pit
88
stop.
coming to the pit lane. That looks like it should be your last car to pit. Didn't even get to lead a lap out of that cycle, but here comes the 29 back to the start-finish line. Should have the lead this time by, and indeed does. Kirsten Bell out to a commanding lead with the issues that the 70 had under the pit cycle. It's going to be the 87 of Zach Armstrong cycling up to second. Daniel Rivera up to third. A very impressive performance by that 15 Costco Toyota. Fourth is Violet Myers after the pit cycle, followed by 5th place Phil Parker. He really played that strategy to his favor, was hanging out right around the brink of the top 10 back there with Christian Vargas. Vargas had problems, and now the 9 has pounced on the opportunity to make up a couple spots here. Here comes the 88 rolling off the pit lane now. Childress going to cycle back with the field. The 29 disappeared for a moment.
Yeah, I
Cycled
saw
back
that
onto
too.
the racetrack.
I saw that too.
That time by halfway through this race, it has been all Jonathan Salos and Kirsten Bell. Kirsten Bell has now put a huge gap, last time by over 4 seconds between her and the 87 Zach Armstrong.
Looks like Jonathan Salos has lagged back to 9th place. And my guess would probably be that pass on pit lane being a speeding penalty.
Ever since the drop of the green flag after that restart around lap number 10, it has been smooth sailing for so many of these guys on and off pit road. Very smooth driving, and if you want to learn how to do smooth driving just like that, this broadcast of Score is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 95% of students who take their state driving test with Harper pass on their first attempt. If you like those odds, book an appointment today at Suite E of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman, right off Lambs Road. I think I might need to take a class there. I'm pretty good at driving, but these guys have kept it green for so long. If they're going there, I definitely want to go there.
Yeah. No, I haven't taken my driving test yet, but, I'd like to pass it first try. I'd like to get on the roads first try.
Absolutely.
Drivers out here in Washington aren't too good, so I don't even know.
So we're going to put it side by side here.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills.
Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
This broadcast is brought to you by Garden State Pet Center. Your number one stop to keep your pet happy and healthy, with the most organic foods available for your pets in South Jersey, along with toys, cages, accessories, and more. Visit 7 days a week at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon.
Welcome back here to Charlotte. We just had a decent-sized incident off turn number 4. Alex Pollock and Zach Armstrong, your second-place runner, made contact, as you saw on our side-by-side, and we are under caution for the 4th time tonight. Booth can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it is our 4th caution. As here comes the leaders down the pit lane. Going to be a savior for a lot of those guys on the tail end of the lead lap. It's Kirsten Bell, followed by Daniel Rivera, the 11, Violet Myers, the 9 of Phil Parker, the 19, Jelani Howell, 88, Carl Choders, Cameron Jameson, Flunder Wilson, Jonathan Salos, going to be a huge break for him, as well as Christian Vargas, and Zach Armstrong pitting for damage after being involved in that incident.
All right, Dan, according to scoring, I was
It's like
first
all
car
these
lap
guys
down.
going to
Am I
pit
good
for
to give
4
myself away?
tires and fuel.
I said, according to scoring, I'm first car lap down.
Greasing off the pit
would I
lane,
be
that
good to
11
give
gets a pretty
myself
good
away?
jump, but the 15 is still going to beat out. It's going to be the 15 of Daniel Rivera winning the
Or
race
I
off pit
was
road,
first car
followed
lap down.
by the 11, 29, 19, and 9, your top 5 off
Prior
the pit
to
lane.
the caution, I was the first car lap down. I would be free pass.
Up at the front here, we have a couple cars. Laps down. 84 going to go around the pace car there. So you see the 45 Chase Severs, the 6 Tristan Grace, and the 46 all been pretty misfortunate. Either got in the wall a couple times, letting leaders by, missing pit road, things like that. But this is going to give them a chance to refresh just past the halfway point.
Well, looks like the 15 may be getting down pit road again.
Potentially coming down pit road to top off, or just saving gas under this caution. It's like Chase Seaver's going to bring he and the 46 down the pit lane. Yep, leader's going to stay out. They're just clutching and coasting on the apron. It does appear Cameron Jameson and Flunder Wilson, as well as Zach Armstrong, going to come back down pit road to top off. Very smart strategic move by those guys. But the race got flipped almost on its head. Green flag pit stops didn't provide very much, but a lot of guys had to come back down pit road either by missing pit road or getting penalties. And that nipped Jonathan Salos in that 70. More bad luck following that 70 dodge, but this caution is going to give him just the opportunity he needs. How do you feel about his odds right now, Dakota?
The 15? I feel like
That'd be the 70.
Oh, 70. I am so sorry.
That's
I
all
just
right.
kind of spaced out there.
No, we're not in space. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, really?
Oh, no wonder.
Yeah, I feel like the 70 of Jonathan Salos here, in 6th place. He is on the lead lap. I feel like he'd get just a good start, good runs through 1 and 2. Maybe on the backstretch, he'd get himself just up the 3rd and just kind of work his way through the field. I feel like he still has a good chance to get in this.
Absolutely. See a lot of these guys still saving fuel on the apron. My wager would be, based on that pit stop, certainly going to be able to maybe clutch and coast this thing all the way to the finish, potentially right on their fuel mark. That's why a lot of these guys, including Salos back down pit road to top off. These guys playing strategy games. Salos going to bring down almost everyone behind, including Jameson once more, Tristan Grace, Armstrong again, as well as Childress and Crystal Bennett in the 84. Pace cars turn their lights off 1 to green this time by. The field gets lined up behind. Let's run through your order real quick. We have the 15, Daniel Rivera, leading, first car off the pit lane, followed by the newcomer, the 11 of Violet Myers. She's doing very well in her debut, just like Ian Griffith did last week. Beginner's luck, it seems to be, in score so far this season. Followed by your second place finisher last week, that 19 of Jelani Howell, being competitive once more this week. Then you have the 9, Phil Parker, played a decent strategy so far today, as well as the 00. Got back there with the 70, but has stayed out under this caution and put himself up inside the top 5 for this restart. Last week's pole sitter, that's the 99 Man United Toyota Camry. It's Flandre Wilson in 6th. Tristan Grace still on the pit lane as well. 7th, we have the 45 Chase Savers is 1 lap down, as well as the 46 of Alex Pollock. Jonathan Salos behind those two. Then Armstrong, Bennett, Jameson, Childress. Here comes Kirsten Bell off the pit lane. It's like Bell might have had problems under caution, may have come down to pit once again. But it is going to be Rivera leading Myers and Howell back to the green flag. 30 laps to go. Back underway here at Charlotte. Immediately, Howell going to jump to the outside of that 11 for the 2nd spot. But the 11 of Myers going to clear down into turn number 1 all over the back bumper of that 15 Costco Toyota. Side by side for 4th behind. Between the 9 and the 99. 99 in the wall. Going to save it once more. 45 also got in the wall by proxy. Going to keep it going. Lap traffic immediately in front of these leaders. That is the 6 of Tristan Grace. Either he'll be able to get up to pace or he's going to have to move out of the way because the leaders are coming full song around this time. Jonathan Salos, after topping off on that pit stop there, has already made his way up to the top 5 very fast cars we've seen all night long. Just going to depend on how he can work this traffic as he's going to peek his nose down there but tucks back in behind the 9 of Phil Parker. So that 15 might be getting a slight draft off that 6. Not very slow is Tristan Grace. He's able to get some of that damage repaired on his right door, but still a lap car in the way. Going to have to try and hold on. Oh, Chase Severs goes around down into turn number 1, going to slide up into the outside wall. Slams the left side of that Dodge into the outside wall. Nobody going to hit him as he slides back down the banking. Not quite. Here comes more, and he is towed back to the pit lane. Still up front, though, it is Daniel Rivera, still being hounded by that 11 and 19, who are nose to tail for 2nd still yet. That 19 has not lost sight of that 11. The 11 bombs it in a little hard from turn number 1, going to slide up to the top, going to try and get a run. Not nearly as good a run as I think he was expecting, but the 70 did get clear of Phil Parker for 4th that last time by. Now he goes on the charge against Jelani Howe. Nose down to the inside, gets a little bit of a run. Down through the tri-oval, gonna have that run, not quite, tucked back in behind the 19. Side by side for the lead, here comes Myers down to the inside of the 15. Rivera gonna clear for the lead. Violet Myers to the lead. But don't look too fast, here comes Rivera looking back to the inside. Very fierce battle down the back straightaway between two drivers making their first starts in SCORE and of this season. Almost side by side for third behind. Jelani Howell just picking who he wants to work with at this point. But now the 11 gets clear. Violet Myers leads that time by. Here comes the 19. Side by side for third. Here comes Salo's going to almost clear up on the outside. Going to have the run off turn 3. The 11 slides high. Here comes the 15 down the backstretch. They are side by side for first and third. Here comes the 70 pushing that 11 up high. It's going to almost get it up to the wall. Not quite going to have the run off the corner he was looking for. 70 almost gets into the quarter panel, and the 11 gets into the wall. Nobody spins out, though. It is 6 cars under a blanket for the lead here at Charlotte. Absolute pandemonium. Oh, the 11 and the 70 of Jonathan Salos. That's going to be a caution. Racing back for the line. Oh, what a heartbreak. Those guys were pushing so hard through the corner. And finally, there was contact. But still, Rivera leads us back through turn 3 and 4. Comes the 19 of Howell with a run off turn number 4, but it's not going to be enough. Back to the caution. It is Daniel Rivera leading us to the caution. Jelani Howell in second, followed by the 99 Flandre Wilson, avoided the wreck as well in third. The 11 with damage on the rear, going to still manage fourth. Vargas up to fifth. Zach Armstrong as well. The 84 crossed the line in sixth. Crystal Bennett. Still some right door damage to that machine.
Like Jonathan Salos could have a lot of damage to the rear for that crash.
Absolutely. Both the 70 and 11 with very fast cars had problems getting down into the corner.
Like Kirsten Bell, no damage. Still in contention to win this thing.
Still very much in contention to win. Very fast car all night. Going to be in the same kind of position Salos was earlier in this race. His field checks up for the pace car. Going back to the replay of that incident between the 11 and 70. You can see getting down into turn number 1. The 11 had a run down to the inside, but it just wasn't quite enough. The 70 slid up the hill just a touch into that number 11 Toyota. Got a little bit loose off the bottom, slammed the rear of that 11 into the wall. Then the 70 got tapped by Phil Parker with absolutely nowhere to go in that 9 Chevrolet. 70 spinning up towards the wall. A lot of guys got to avoid. Bell slams on the brakes, but still hits that 70 pretty hard with the front end of that 29. You can see the 00 squeaking his way through. Parker comes back up the track a little bit, but everyone's going to get themselves situated from here. Still a lot of damage to 2 of the fastest cars here late in the going, that being the 11 of Myers and the 70 of Salos.
No, it's really insane how the littlest bit of contact.
Catching back up to the field, pit stops were made that time by with Rivera holding on to the lead, followed by Howell. Then Zach Armstrong working his way all the way back up to the third position, took it nice and easy on the restart, and it has paid off, as well as for the 29 of Kirsten Bell. Finds herself back up inside the top 5 as well. Violet Myers still hanging on to that 4th position. Even with rear end damage, still might have some horsepower left in that Toyota.
Yes, we can.
99, Flandre Wilson, right behind that 29. We will be right back after this commercial break. Don't miss any bit of the action here live on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting.
Stayed out in front of the leaders, so
This presentation on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting of Score here at Charlotte is presented by Vincent's Lawn Care. With the fall season around the corner, it's never too early nor too late to get your lawn in order. Call Vincent's Lawn Care today at 609-413-0403. Welcome back here to Charlotte, second race of our Score Season 8. Just under 20 laps to go. The field lines up single file for a restart with 19 laps to go. Still led by Daniel Rivera. Jelani Howell back in the bridesmaid spot once more. Zach Armstrong found his way back up to third, followed by the damaged Violet Myers, and Kirsten Bell has fought her way from the back. 19 laps to go. Who's going to win it? Here at Charlotte, the green is out, and Jelani Howell gets a good jump on the inside on that restart. Bell going to block Flandre Wilson further back for that fifth spot. Side by side to one. Jelani going to get a little bit squirrely on the bottom. They're both going to shoot up the hill just a bit. Armstrong looked to peak for a second, but he thinks better of it. 84 on the wall a little further back, but the leader's still back under a blanket once more. That 11 still has a lot of speed, even with rear end damage. Still all Daniel Rivera at the head of the pack. Going to lead again under green, side by side for third. Kirsten Bell working her way back past Zach Armstrong. Those two been up near the front all day. Just depends on if this 29 can clear. Down through turn 1 and 2. Flandre Wilson going to slide up a little further back, but that 29 does manage to clear the 87 through turn number 2. Put Kirsten Bell back up to P3. Now she's all over the rear bumper. At that 19 going to back up the corner. Shoots that 87 a slight bit up the hill. Here comes the 11, Violet Myers, looking to the inside for fourth. Rivera leads once more that time by with the 19 hot on his bumper. Here comes the 29, Kirsten Bell, looking at the inside. Jelani going to get a little squirrely again down into the corner. Now on the high side, going to get loose down into traffic. Contact with the 11.
No.
And this 99 almost went around as well, but manages to save it. Phil Parker goes down to the bottom as well. Tristan Grace back in the mix as well. Jelani goes from bridesmaid to almost outside the top 10 within a matter of moments. A lot of right side damage on the side of that 19. Back up at the front, it is still the 29 and 15 battling for the point. 29 has a decent run through turn 1, going to arc it down to the bottom. 15 washes up a slight bit through the corner. Still going to be all over the back bumper. Oh, around goes Jonathan Salos down the back straightaway. One car incident, sliding down to the inside wall. Oh, almost contact. 29 hits the wall. Through turn number 3. No caution is out. There is no caution, but with that contact, the 11 gets by for second. Violet Myers back up into position to maybe take this thing away from Daniel Rivera. But right now, he's just trying to gap to that 11 car just as much as possible. 29 trying to get back into position. And look at who is in that fourth position. That is Cameron Jamison. Have not talked about him all night long, yet he finds himself in position to contend for this win with just a few laps to go.
Like he might have used the wrong template or something. His numbers look wonky on my screen.
I don't know. He's got that number 13 Marcos Ambrose inspired DeWalt machine ripping it out there tonight. 29 does get back by for second with a lot less damaged of a vehicle. Now that 11 is going to try and hang on to the third spot in front. Here comes the 29 peeking down the inside, goes down to the apron, going to shoot back up the track just a bit. Rivera lags, is gone for a moment. Maybe we'll spawn back in, but we'll have to wait and see. It is Kirsten Bell ahead of, comes back in front of traffic, is lagging all over the place, but gets it up to the wall without issue. What an impressive run from everybody to avoid that 15. Still comes out of it in the second position. Very impressive for that 15, holding on to that bandwidth connection. But that does allow Kirsten Bell the opportunity to clear for the lead. Kirsten Bell once again this time by with the lead, followed by Rivera, Myers, Jamison, and Phil Parker in the fifth position. Parker trying to hold on to everything he's got. He's got a bunch of guys hounding him back there for the fifth position. Tristan Grace into the wall back there. Flandre Wilson trying to get back up inside that top 5 as well in that Toyota. Still all Kirsten Bell up at the front. Myers going to get almost to the rear of that 15 once more, but doesn't quite have the run off. Jamison doesn't either. This time by 11 laps to go. Next time by will be 10. Getting down to the last few laps. Still Kirsten Bell up at the front. 11 goes into the wall side by side for the third position. Almost dooring each other down the back straightaway. Jameson is going to peek down low.
Oh, big
Gets
crash on the
by
back
11,
straight,
shoots
84.
it up. The 11 tries to go back to the inside to make a crossover move.
Looks like
Have a
84
one-car
went
incident around in the back. That's the 84. Crystal Bennett going to get it right. It gets it rolling. No caution still. We are all green flag racing. That time by was 10 laps to go. The 29 continues to pull away as they battle for the third position very hard. They are 3 wide back there for fifth. Phil Parker almost gets clear, but the 11 going to hang on to that position on the bottom. Here comes Flandre Wilson now looking for the fifth position underneath Phil Parker. Season 4 winner of this race still has speed in that Chevy, but just doesn't quite enough to stay in front of these top 5. Further back from that, still battling between Zach Armstrong, Tristan Grace, and Christian Vargas, battling on the back half of the top 10. Rivera still trying to use that bottom, gets a little low entering the corner, and is going to wash up high to get that run off the wall. Almost tapped the wall that time by. Did win last year's All-Star race, but thus far has not found victory lane in a points-paying race. But right now, it is smooth sailing for the 29. The internet connection is stable. Everything looks to be going the way of Kirsten Bell. Rivera still hanging on to a very comfortable second position. Cameron Jameson lost a ton of time getting into the wall that last lap by. Allows Myers to get up to the third position as well. The 99 of Flandre Wilson hunting for that third position once more, all over the back bumper of that 11, or whatever's left of the back bumper of that 11. So that time by, Bell still holds a comfortable lead of about half a second over Daniel Rivera. Oh, Flandre overshoots the corner, almost gets up into the wall, going to shoot the 11 up with her, but the 11 hangs on, as does the 99. Very impressive by both of them not to get involved in a wreck here, coming almost to the point of no return. Cameron Jameson now going to look for that fourth position. He's still hanging on to a comfortable fifth position. Phil Parker 6th, Zach Armstrong 7th, Tristan Grace 8th, Christian Vargas, and Carl Childress rounding out your top 10. Or rather, that is Jelani Howe rounding out your top 10. Back up to the front. Couple cars in the wall back there. It's Cameron Jameson hitting the wall once more. Not going to be able to get to the fourth position with that kind of move. Everybody did cross the line that time by the lead lap cars. We have reached the point of no return. No more cautions from this point forward.
No return has been reached.
4 laps to go for Kirsten Bell. That 70 and 29 were battling a lot early in this race. We saw a lot of speed out of the 29 earlier in the night, but fell back through a cycle of pit stops and bad luck. But on this most recent restart, even after suffering some internet connectivity issues, this 29 is on rails right now. This time by, 3 laps to go. Rivera can't quite seem to close the gap. Neither can the 11, who continues to pull away from the 99. Through turn number 1, nice easy arc through the center of the corner. Rivera trying to match as much as possible to get as much draft and as much of a run as possible. Continues to close right around a half a second. He's really going to have to put the pedal to the metal if he wants to catch this 29. He is within more range than he's been these last couple of laps, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. Now it is 2 laps to go, with Bell still holding on to a slim lead that time by 0.4 of a second back to the 15 Toyota. It is a Toyota 1, 2, 3, 4. Toyota's got to be proud of these guys out here tonight. Putting up a stellar performance, knocking off the competing Dodge of Jonathan Salos. Phil Parker has retired as well. Unfortunate for him. This time by, the white flag in the air. The 15 has a run, but not quite going to get it through the tri-oval. Almost battling for third back there, but Bell still holding a decent-sized lead. 15 going to bomb it off through turn 1 and 2. Rides up to the wall, hits the wall off turn number 2. Still going to be right there. Going to have one more shot at it. Going to have to hope this 29 makes a mistake. but Kirsten Bell with one of the best cars all night. Hasn't won a points-paying race this season or ever in Score. That's going to change tonight. Kirsten Bell wins her first race here at Score, here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Very impressive performance by that entire 29 team. Congratulations to Kirsten Bell. They wrecked past the start-finish line, but it doesn't matter.
Wow.
Because Kirsten Bell is a first-time winner here in Score.
Great race. I will
Absolutely
say.
fantastic race, fantastic finish. Green to the end. We'd love to see it. Getting congratulatory taps from the 6, Tristan Grace, the 87, Zach Armstrong as well. '70 did end up coming home with a top 10 position, so another car we saw run well all night. Just wasn't able to quite have the luck that this 29 had. Here comes the 99, giving some celebratory taps as well. But Kirsten Bell gonna burn it down for the first time.
Don't hit the wall there.
You won the race. If you won the race, you could pay for those damages. Gonna do a nose-to-nose burnout with the 84 Crystal Bennett.
That's just great. Good to see these team burnouts here.
Two great drivers running up front almost every week. Bell told me in interviews to start off the season, she was just looking to go fast, stay out of trouble, and work on improving. She worked on improving her racecraft over the last 18 months, and it certainly paid off tonight. Let's run quickly through the finishing results here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Kirsten Bell, first points-paying win of her career here at Score, followed by Daniel Rivera, who led a good chunk of that final stretch of laps, but not best that 29 tonight. Violet Myers, on debut, finishes third. Not quite on par with Ian Griffith tonight, but still a very impressive performance. Looking to see more out of that with the 11. 99, Philandre Wilson comes home in the 4th position, followed by another top 5 out of that 13, Cameron Jamison. Whether he's up front or running mid-pack, his consistency is what can bring him closer to that title fight later in the year. Zach Armstrong, making his first start of the season, finishes 6th. He had a really good run earlier from the pole. Led some laps early, but doesn't quite finish as far up as he started. Followed by the 6 of Tristan Grace. Impressive comeback for Tristan. With all the contact he had, almost went a lap down, but got saved by a caution there late in the going. Jelani Howell, who ran up front, was a bridesmaid so many times tonight, fell back with some contact there and wasn't quite able to recover in time. Then it's the 00 Christian Vargas making a nice comeback, as well as the 70, who went around there on that final stretch of green flag laps, was able to round out your top 10. Finishing up the field, we have the 84 of Crystal Bennett finishing 11th. Last car on the lead lap. The 88 of... I am blanking on that. My apologies. That is the 88 of Carl Chodis in the Modern Warfare car. I should know that. That's a really, really cool car that he painted. That 88 Carl Chodis, the first car, 1 lap down in the 12th position. Phil Parker out of the race late in the going, going to finish 13th. With Alex Pollock in 14th, 3 laps down. Everyone else out of the race with some sort of accident or mechanical issue. That is Chase Sievers in the 15th position. Kez Hiller in the 16th position. Ian Griffith, 17th. Dakota Vega, 18th. Thomas Johnson, 19th. And Mark Prince going to round out your field in the 20th position. Well, I'm very thrilled by how that race ended up playing out. What about you, Dakota?
I think that was a great race. You know, a lot of battling up front, a lot of battling like mid-pack, a lot of crashes in the start. Very, very exciting to see crashes, but it's not fun when you're under caution the whole time.
No, absolutely. But we were able to get out of that caution period and finish the race with a first-time points-paying winner here at Score. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Thank you again to our partners, Garden State Pet Center, Harper Driving School, and Vincent's Lawn Care for showing your support to this channel and Dan Wilkins. This is Alex Mullen and Dakota Brothers signing out for the night. Thank you all for tuning in. Good night.
See ya.